whole world lays in pride. Even they said like, oh, it's a good pride, bad pride, or whatever, and you need to be proud about things. Well, there is nowhere in the Bible says that any sort of pride is good. So it's like if you glory, glory in the Lord. So we can exalt the Lord and be sort of like I don't know if prideful is the right word, but the idea is that be confident in the Lord and in His ability to work through us. I think that's sort of right approach. But in terms of functioning, how these two things function. So pride is sort of like that you kind of puff up and you feel good about yourself in a kind of wrong way. But and then humility is something that you don't puff up yourself. You stay grounded, and then Lord can exalt you, but you're not doing it yourself. So, and I think one of the key verses for that would be from Matthew 23:12, and whoever shall exalt himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. So I think that that kind of indicates that how the Lord created things to work. So, for instance, if somebody like uh, exalts himself, says that oh he's very great about something, many times we see that they fall down, and many times when somebody is very pride and share things very pridefully, if we have the right kind of discernment, it feels like hey, this is wrong. This person is just exalting himself. So that's why the trajectory goes like that. Now humble yourself. So it's sort of like you come in a servant's position. Maybe like people perceive like this, but then you're just like, no, I'm actually serving God, and God is my master, and he knows what I need. And at the same time, people who humble themselves, they actually more observant. Many times they're able to see things more clearly, what's actually happening, what's actually going on, and then actually God exalts them. Because many times when you humble ourselves, our perception and ability to see also increases. So then God is able to use us in many different ways. Now, when we turn to pride, actually we get blinded. And the problem is that we don't see that we are pride. The danger with pride, we don't see that we are in it because it feels good. It feels good to the flesh. Now, humility, in humble state, we actually hear God. Uh, uh, hear God way clearly, and we're able to receive His correction, receive His instruction, receive instruction also from others. So, for instance, somebody would say, "Hey, this is like damaging to you, and if you do this way, actually, it will start working." And so then we can actually progress. When we are humble, we're able to hear better, to listen, and to understand the advice. When we are like pride, so we think that okay, the people somewhere like below us, and they see something and they try to interject some correction uh, or like some advice. But we're not able to hear because we think we kind of above them. So and then we heading for a crash, but we're not able to see. And because all the people who kind of try to help us or warn us or even God try to help us in any way, but we are not able to hear. So we are like get stiff-necked in the Bible somewhere says as well. So that's why when we get prideful, we got go down uh, because we cannot see what's happening. We think we are above others or above circumstances, and eventually the reality check comes in and we crash. Now, when we humble ourselves, we're able to hear things, receive instruction, and apply it, so that automatically things start to work, and we get sort of like exalted. Another interesting Bible passage I wanted to share is, "By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches, honor, and life." So sometimes we think like, okay, all these pride actors, pride whatever, get all the wealth and money. And well, in the world, many times they're quite miserable, even though they have this so-called fame and fortune. But many times you see families destroyed, they divorced multiple times, and all kind of problems. But at the same time, I saw some very wealthy people who actually were very humble. They able to receive instruction, they able to receive ideas. So imagine if you're able to receive good ideas, um, and then you're able to do something about it, and and actually execute it. So, for instance, some good idea, financial idea comes, some different advices from different places, and if the person is humble himself and actually has the fear of God, so it means he respects the way God created things to work. God created this world certain way, and it's working according to He made it. So they don't try to invent new rules. Well, prideful people, they actually think that they're somewhere very high, and they just looking down to others, and they like on sort of like as on the top of the pinnacle or whatever. So whatever advices tries to come, they're not hearing it, and they're going down, so they get poor or broke, or something happens, divorce happens, many even die or get depressed and all that stuff. But with the humility, it actually comes advices, understanding, knowledge, discernment, relationships also increase. So this way also riches and honor also comes with humility and the fear of God, because you're going in alignment with how God created things to work, and He created things to grow, to constantly grow. Everything, if you think about trees, if you think about nature, everything like starts with the small. There's some kind of seed, let's say a ground, and then there is a blade coming in some form, and then there's coming like a full thing. So everything all the time grows, and that's how God created things to work. Also, growing in financial things, of course, some things can go up and down, but in general, we should get wiser, get better, get stronger, but remain the sense of humility or groundedness, and that okay, God's made things certain way, and we cannot circumvent it. It's gonna operate in a certain level, and it's gonna grow in a certain speed. We cannot push it, we cannot pull it. We have to go with the way God created things to be. So, and when we humble ourselves, we find out how God created things to work, and we get aligned with it, and we start seeing things working because we humbled ourselves. So that's what I wanted to share about humility and pride, and also operational side of humility.